Welcome, welcome, one and all, and we return to you with from St. Louis, Missouri, broadcasting Scrabble live from Albany, New York. This is Chris Lipe and Randy Goldberg giving you the action from Albany. We are about to start round 21 of 22, and boy, the competition is intense. Right now in the Collins division, we have Evans Clinchy in first place with a one-game lead. He is at 16-4, and Stefan Rao is right on his heels at 15-5. Adam Logan is 14-6 in third place. Brad Whitmarsh 13-7, and rounding out the top five, we have Jason Keller at 12-8 with a spread advantage over Tim Weiss, Richard Buck, and Jennifer Lee, also on 12-8. Right now, we are going to have a short conversation with Evans Clinchy about his round 20 game. Hello, Evans.
Scrabble is hard, man. Scrabble's really hard. I don't like it.
Yeah, wow. That I saw the result come in. It looks like it was a 5-point game against Brad.
Yeah. It's hard to describe Scrabble games in words, but I can try. Yeah, basically it came down to just like a really complicated endgame where, well, there was a complicated pre-endgame, I guess, first. I was ahead by I think it was 379, 372. I was up by 7, and the pool was like super scary. There was a blank and like all these like ing and like good consonants and good vowels, and I'm like, sure, he's going to bingo, and there's like multiple lanes and I can't block them. And I had all of these just like high point scoring tiles. I had like B, F, H, and I basically let him bingo for like a small like 60 some. And gave myself like 2 spots to score like big 50-ish plays. Like I got Fees, F-E-A-S-E for 50, and then I had like the H in reserve with an H hotspot set up. And so basically like I let him bingo in the end and like just barely outran him in the end game. And but the last 4 tiles in the bag were I-O-U blank, and he couldn't find an outplay with them. He finally found Fugio with a blank F for 7, which just barely wasn't enough. So it was just this really, really tense, close game. And yeah, just barely pulled it out. I'm a little bit mentally exhausted at this point. Scrabble is hard.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Yeah. So now I'm just kind of sweating out the pairings situation. I don't really want to get Adam again because Adam is really, really good. So that's kind of scary. I think the ideal situation for me would just be to play Stefan, because that way if I just beat him once, it's over. If they pair Stefan with somebody else, then, like, I don't know, multiple people could catch me, like Adam could win twice or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. There are no pairings up, right? Have you guys checked for that?
Yeah, I don't see any pairings up yet.
Yeah. I don't know. How was the... you guys didn't have a Collins game last round, did you? You guys were doing an owl one.
Yeah, we had Benji and Josh Sokol, and Benji hit 3 bingos in a row early, and it just kind of wasn't a thing.
Yeah, it went downhill from there for Josh after the 3 bingos.
Yeah, Benji's good at playing valid words when they're longer than 4 letters.
Yeah.
Good for Ben.
Well, there was discussion of this.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
All right, so just 2 more games. 2 more games. All right, I can do this.
2 more, yeah.
2 more, yep. Hold on.
I'm
You've stayed strong. You've been pretty consistent throughout.
On big screen for the next one. I think you should get Jennifer to talk about her games. I think she would really like to talk. Oh, she's walking away with an embarrassed look on her face.
You should get her to come talk about her games.
Too late. She left. Oh, well.
Oh, well. Yeah, she's...
We would love to talk to her. The breakout star of this tournament, really.
I think that is correct, and I think you should talk to her, and I think she is embarrassed and walking away. So that's
that.
We'll get her after she wins her next one.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, cool. I'm gonna go hyperventilate somewhere else and leave you guys be.
All right.
Well, you have fun with that.
Yep. Thanks for joining us.
You might see me soon on the big board. I don't know what's happening, but I'll let you know.
All right.
Great.
Cool.
All right. Later.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, and we have a little chat with Evans Clinchy after his incredibly close 5-point win against Brad Whitmarsh. It looks like that was just really, really intense endgame, really difficult to think out. And yeah, it's those wins where you feel like you've stolen it are it's important to have those games go your way if you're going to win a tournament, because those end up being coin flips.
Sure, not everything's going to be an easy win. You've got to be able to pull out those squeakers.
Yep, and if you can win a few of the coin flips that happen during a tournament, then you're going to be be doing quite well for yourself. It's those intermediate games, those that really decide who wins and who finishes a couple games back. In the TWL-A division, we see that Carl Higbee won his game against Matt Graham, won by 100 points, cruised home, and this gives him a 3-game lead with 2 rounds to play. So congratulations to Carl Higbee for winning the TWL-A division in Albany this New Year's weekend. He has clinched the tournament with 2 rounds to go. So congratulations, Carl, on this great achievement.
Excellent.
He's a solid player, and this is well-deserved for his excellent performance.
Always nice to do that a couple games early. Now he doesn't have quite the same hyperventilating to do now that Evans has.
Yeah.
Now he knows he's good. He's done. I have my one time ever being Gibsonized. I found that I then went into that last game. I had been pretty tired, but once I realized I was Gibsonized, I was pretty relaxed, pretty comfortable, played pretty well because just had nothing to worry about anymore.
Yeah, playing a meaningless Gibson game after such an intense, long, intense event is it's quite the relief, and it's quite a lot of relaxation going there. You just go and you play, and you don't have to really you don't have to stress over it. And it's such a stark contrast from the round before when you're in a position that you could potentially clinch. So congratulations to Carl, and your last 2 stress-free games will be well-deserved. We're still getting the standings together, and in the TWLB division, we still have Steve Osorio on top. He's at 15-5. He has a 1-game lead with 2 to play over Bob Becker, and 2 games over Roger Coleman. So that is going to be a pretty hard-fought competition. But Steve still could potentially clinch with a game to play with a victory here in round 21.
Which stretch game is
that? In the C division, we have still a razor-thin margin. Joseph Waldbaum is at 15.5. Margot Kuno is at 15. The 2 of them will be fighting out for first place. They'll be playing the last 2. And Joseph only needs to win 1 of the last 2 in order to clinch the C division. In third place, in third place is at 12.5. So the 2 of them are the only ones with a chance to win that division. We have no pairings yet for the TWL or for the Collins division. We do have pairings for the TWL A division with Carl playing a Gibson game against Matt Graham. So it will be a few moments before we know which game we can bring you while the pairings are still being finished. And we will leave you for just a moment here while we get our technical feeds set up for the final round. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We have our players for our next round being seated at the table, and we are going to see another matchup between Evans Clinchy and Adam Logan, one that has some vital implications for the outcome of the Collins division. This is Chris Leip and Randy Goldberg. We are in our living room in the beautiful central west end of St. Louis, Missouri. We are bringing you Scrabble coverage live from Albany, New York. The annual New Year's weekend tournament is 22 games, a marathon of Scrabble, and we are nearing its conclusion. The tournament is being held in the Best Western in Albany, New York, across the street from the University of Albany campus, and our technical IT infrastructure support is brought to us by WGVC.com. If you can't wait for the future to arrive, WGVC will get you there sooner. Right now, it is round 21 of 22. Evans Clinchy is at 16-4, leading the pack. One game behind him is Stefan Rao at 15-5. Adam Logan is at 14-6. The best case scenario for Evans, if he wins and Stefan loses, he will feel the sweet embrace of the Gibson pairing rule and clinch the division with one round to go. If a loss by Evans and a win by Stefan could make it a winner-take-all situation in the final round between the two of them, or even between no, it'll be a winner-take-all between the two of them in the final round. With a Stefan loss and an Evans loss, Adam Logan could get in the mix to possibly win the tournament. It is all up in the air, and we have no idea how it will turn out. Right now, Evans is drawing tiles to begin the game, and we will be starting right now. Welcome, everyone, to the stream, and good luck to our players. Evans has drawn an opening rack bingo, a very, very fortuitous draw for him. The bingo hits the board nearly immediately, and we are off to the races. Adam has drawn the first blank on his opening rack, so this is going to not be easy for Evans whatsoever. Not that any game against Adam Logan is ever easy for anyone. He is one of the best players in the world, and Evans is himself a top-notch player, but the competition will be very, very fierce. Adam does have bingos in response. He's considering his options here. And Evans is looking at his rack, considering potential plays. No bingos, but he just went through his rack, lifting one tile at a time, perhaps considering 6 tile plays that might fit as a double-double through the E in Bergali. In the first game of the morning, we saw Adam demolish Evans with a multi-bingo performance. It was pretty masterful on Adam's part. The game turned on a play of Vignette that sat one short of the H15 hotspot, and Adam drew into an R and an S that would hook that spot. Evans had none of those tiles, and so the ensuing 80-point follow-up to the bingo buried Evans in a hole from which he could not dig himself. This is, to answer the question from the chat, this is the second to last round, number 21 out of 22. And given the different ways that this matchup and the Stefan Bradley Whitmarsh matchup come out, any one of the top 3 players, Evans, Stefan, or Adam, could walk away with the championship of this tournament in the Collins division. Adam has played one of the nicer flowers in the plant kingdom, Love Lily.
That is very beautiful and delightful.
And,
I suppose he chose it more strategically, but I just think it's pretty.
And Evans, after trading opening rack bingos, has a small lead and also has the turn. So he's in a nice position, but there is so much Scrabble to go. Evans' rack is balanced, has some scoring potential. And yeah, some questions. Does he want to burn the S for points at this point? Does he not want to burn the S? There are plenty of options for him. The S plays, obviously, they're going to score 30, 30-something and go down K column using the hook on Bergali. There are other rack balancing plays that he could make that do not. He could play something like Vow or Wove. Vow here, Wove E5 into the E of Bergali. Start to develop this upper left quadrant of the board here. So and save the mouse for a later date. And Evans has played Vow. Which is a fine play and a really strong play from an equity standpoint. The only drawback of Vow is that Evans isn't holding the A, but it's an early game opening that gets made, and it's not that vital on such an early opening board. And there's plenty of A's to draw, and Evans has in fact drawn some. In addition, if you're concerned about the A hook on Vow, an opening like this, it's an opening on B column. So any play that takes advantage of this hook is either going to give back either the top of A column or the bottom of A column as a comeback. So making as a general rule, making a play in the third from the edge row that opens up an opportunity in the second from the edge row is not as dangerous, because if your opponent takes that opportunity, you will have comebacks on the edge, either edge row, row 1 or 15, columns A or O, where the triple word scores are. So you'll get an opportunity to reply if Adam, say, did have a big B column play after that opening. Adam is holding the X, looking at that. There are no colored squares on which the X can go, so this becomes a more complicated calculation. If there's a colored square, the X goes on, obviously. Usually, often that can be just sort of a no-brainer choice, but there are a bunch of different options here for Adam to consider. There's the X will go in this spot, so you could have a play something like Vox over here, making Wex. That will restrict this B column opportunity, of course. There's opportunity to play the X on this F6 square, something like Oxo, and that'll leave a really nice balanced leave with the V, but it'll be balanced between vowels and consonants. You'll have DEV, which has some synergy. The D and the V have some synergy, so that's also another strong option. And then there's Deoxy is under here is a cute option for Adam. And looks to be the top scoring play. So there's a few different options for an X play. I think Adam is definitely going to make one of the X plays. That's they're the top scoring plays, and if you can cash the X well, you want to move it as you can. Evans, of course, is hoping that the E stays open. He can bingo through. And Adam does choose Vox down at the bottom for a solid score with the X. And this gives Evans, he has a couple options for bingos. And one of them has already gone down. He plays acreages. Pretty much immediately, and now Evans has about a 60-point lead and has got to be at least momentarily feeling good about the situation.
Once again, playing Adam, I would say without an empty bag, without a several 100-point lead, I wouldn't feel comfortable.
No, it's pretty common, and I think we were talking to Jason Keller yesterday that playing against Adam, you always feel, no matter how big the lead is, you feel like it's not big enough. There's always going to be some sort of play Adam can make that's gonna bring him back in the board because he knows so many words and has such a good tactical arsenal. It's the game is never over.
So, in case anybody's wondering about how they chose the pairings for this last round, Vince has been talking to me about it. They were trying to decide whether to put Brad. You have Brad much of a shot at first. It'd be tough for him to pull up. His spread is just not quite there. If pairing Evans and Stefan would have locked Adam out of shot for first, which he certainly has earned a chance to play for. So that appears to be how they've decided to pair this round. Why they decided to put Evans against Adam. And it seems to make more sense in a Queen of the Hill kind of situation.
Indeed, pairing them this way gives Adam a chance to get first, which if Evans had played Stefan, as he mentioned in the short interview we did with him earlier, pairing Evans and Stefan immediately would lock Adam out of a possibility of first.
Which, while I'm sure Evans would have appreciated it, he realized, wouldn't be the best way for the tournament itself. Just, for his own personal whatever.
So Adam has made a vowel dump playing EAU in the spot using the E hook on Wex. This is also a pretty canny play because Wex is going to take a D here and Adam has a D. So we're expecting a row 11 play from Adam next turn if Evans doesn't do something in that spot to block it, which he may. And does to counter that threat that Adam created. Evans plays egg, which both balances his rack and takes out that E11 hotspot. Adam has drawn the J and plays Haj pretty quickly. It's pretty standard. It's going to be probably the highest scoring play. It's 50 points. And that brings Adam within 10 points of Evans. And this is the sort of thing when you're playing Adam, the no lead is safe and Evans is going to be needing probably another bingo to keep this in order to bring this game home at some point.
There's Shelly's at the event, talking about them. You guys don't get to see the players, but we can see them with our rack cams set up. We can see, as we look at Evans's rack, we can see Adam and vice versa. We have, the player's eye view, as it were.
Yeah, the technical setup is really interesting. We have two cameras showing the racks, as Randy said. We have these cameras are running on separate devices, so we're not able to bring them to you via the stream. And the overhead board camera we have and can sometimes bring you on the stream because that's coming into the same laptop where I'm running the Quackle and all of that to bring you the view of the board position as it happens.
More information about what Vince has done for these pairings. He's added, he can now see whenever he tries to work on the pairings, he set up, he can see exactly what each player's head-to-head history is. So we can see pairing distances, the repeat count, and the back-to-back pairings for the entire division all at once. So then he can try to apply all that and try different. He can rapidly evaluate the effects of different constraints, but he still always has to decide on the size of the contender, groups, who is actually truly still in contention. That can always be up for debate.
Yeah, it's difficult to ask a computer to make these calls. Some of it is mathematical, but some of it actually is a judgment call as to who is actually in contention, what they, all of this stuff. So it's not an exact science at all, and does require intervention by a director, who fully understands the issues surrounding pairings. Adam has bingoed with mundane. He actually had adnominal into the AL as a 9-letter word for 2 more points, but also it put an A at the A2 square. Had some really defensive drawbacks. I would imagine Adam probably saw the 9-letter bingo and passed it up.
Yeah.
So right now, Adam has pulled into a small lead against Evans. Evans has a reasonable rack aside from the 3 eyes. And this becomes a difficult kind of rack. Do you blow it up, play for points? Do you make a small play that scores in the single digits and burns the eye, burns a couple eyes?
Yes, the reason we can't show you guys our rack cams, our players, because we actually have their cameras running on 2 different devices, not the device that is running the Quackle that we are showing you. We would need a far more high-powered technical setup here in our living room. We don't bring quite the technical prowess that to our house or our apartment that Vince brings to the tournaments, unfortunately. Perhaps one day when we're making our millions of dollars broadcasting Scrabble, we will have a better setup. But until then, you'll have to rely on us describing their looks of consternation and deep thought.
So Evan's balancing play looks like it's worked out. He has drawn a nice rack, but Adam is on turn, and he has a bunch of options. No bingo here, but there are some plays that'll score decently. He is deep in thought. Both players have begun the game moving at a pretty good pace. Adam is down to 15 minutes on his clock. Evans is slightly on the happy side of 18. And Adam is taking a bit of time to consider his play.
It's nice to see that this is certainly a much more interesting game. It's a little bit less of a blowout.
Yeah, certainly. This is a contrast from the other games between these 2 players that we've had to broadcast, especially the one earlier this morning where Evans really didn't have any shot whatsoever. So the plays Adam might consider, there's stuff like prow fits under here, and it undoubles the R, moves the W. Those are the things that you want to think about. The W and the R, the double R's and the W are the problems on this rack. If you're going to keep the P, you want to keep one of the R's. There's a lot of good synergy between P and R. And Adam does play prow, which as it happens, gives Evans a place for his bingo, which goes down immediately. So now Evans has the tempo lead on Adam, and this game continues its back and forth, whirling like a dervish. It is just entirely hard-fought, back and forth kind of game, and it looks like there is a blank unseen. The disposition of the second blank may decide this game, as we saw it last night in a close matchup. With one blank unseen, that power tile may just decide how it turns out. And it looks like Evans has drawn the second blank with a tempo lead in a reasonably open board, which is going to be the fates smiling. He will feel the warm sunshine of the tile gods upon him as he puts that blank on his rack. The upshot, however, of Evans' row 14 bingo is that now Adam has opportunities on row 15 for a substantial comeback, and we'll see what he can do in this area here. There's 40, 50-point plays in that spot, and everything that Quackle suggests puts the M on the H15 square. So that's what's going to happen. Just exactly which word Adam chooses, we shall see.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Adam is still considering. He has his hand on the table in front of the rack cam. It looks gigantic from our perspective, but I assure you his hands are normal-sized human hands. And Adam has chosen to play Derm for 46. In-erm was the top scoring play, but he's decided to keep the INR leave instead of the DR leave. Probably looking at somewhat of a dearth of vowels in the pool.
Unfortunately, it does not look like Evans has a bingo that will play this turn. There are 0 7s in his rack and only 1 8, and I do not see it going down anytime soon.
So yeah, Evans is now in a bit of a pickle. He's slightly behind Adam, still has a tempo lead, and Adam has drawn a natural bingo that, as it stands, does play. So we'll see what Evans does, if he ends up disrupting Adam's plans. It looks like Evans' top scoring choice is... it seems unlikely that Evans is going to play on the end column. That's not really a place where his rack fits.
Especially given that it is bingo line and he is holding that blank.
So yeah, we're looking, he's looking for a place to drop the U and the Y. Something like Pui, P-U-Y up here. There's, some opportunities to play a Pui or something like that down here. We're probably expecting one of those as a balancing play from Evans. And those are really the top choices as far as both score and leave go. Unfortunately, that's going to leave this end column open for Adam to play his bingo. And Evans has played Pui at the J1 position, and then Nitride goes down immediately. And now Evans is going to have to really make his blank count. He's down 50, or about 50 points on Adam, and we're now looking at 10 tiles in the bag. Adam has drawn a very creative assortment of tiles with QKZ. It'll be a bit clunky. It might also allow him to score quite well. Evans, of course, is still sitting on the second blank.
And no bingos. No sevens or eights.
And once again, no bingos.
There
are some
nines, apparently.
There are some cool plays that he has.
Oh, yeah.
Some really good stuff. I won't give them away. There are, some decent plays up in O column next to Nitride. There's some, other options that might.
It does look like maybe he does have a good play.
Yeah, some other options that score well, preserve the blank.
Yeah, score, preserve the blank, give him the spot.
So we'll see. We'll see if he finds the standout. And those of you watching along in the chat, you can try and find. There is one play that is a standout play. And Evans finding this play would make it, it would be a great snapback and, make the game neck and neck once again. And with the awkwardness that Adam has on his rack as things fall, we're probably looking at Adam coming back with just a QI, probably just a QI play here at M3. So this is exciting. The whiz bang plays don't come up every single game, and hopefully Evans is able to make do what he needs to do. He's right now. It looks like, judging from how he's rearranging the tiles, it looks like he's looking for potential bingos with the blank. His search will be fruitless. He is just under 13 minutes. Adam is at 11 and a half minutes. With only 10 tiles in the bag, there is absolutely no time pressure on either player right here. So we'll be able to, and Evans may take a couple minutes on this play, especially if he thinks there's potential for a bingo through the D or something that fits through the A in mundane, or, probably not some sort of parallel play down M column. This side of Nitride is going to be difficult to lap.
Jeremy, it's a nice find on that top play.
Yep, Jeremy, that is the play. That looks like the
clear standout. The
standout for Evans. It scores 42. It's going to open up A column with a beautiful E bingo line. So yes, it's endoderm right here. Saves the HN blank, and opens up a primo line and keeps the score pretty close. So we're hoping that Evans, once he gives up on his bingo search, finds this extension. It's really hard. He's going to know the word, but it's hard to take your mind out of the mode where you're searching for parallel plays. You're making words with the letters on your rack, and you're looking for a snapback or an extension to a word that's already existing on the board. That said, playing something like Hone at 01 isn't a bad play. It's a good leave. The problem with Hone at 01 is it doesn't really disable. It doesn't continue to open the board, and that's what he wants to do. It looks like Evans has played no, NOH, up at M1, which does continue to develop the board. It doesn't score nearly as well as endoderm, and he will perhaps rue having missed that. But it does create a new threat down the L column that Adam is likely to have to address in some form. It also does take out the best spot for Adam to drop the Q. He's dealing with his own issues and his own awkwardness in the rack.
Oh, Sam found endoderm, not Jeremy. I hadn't seen that. Of course, that would be a Sam's boy. Sam is a good friend of mine, an excellent player who has been taking a bit of some time off, to go to med school. I guess, like you do, but hoping for his triumphant return once he finishes with that pesky med school.
So Adam has a wide variety of completely different options. And like we've mentioned before on this broadcast, the hardest racks are ones where the options available are completely different. When you have a lot of options, but if they're all pretty samey, they play in the same place, you're evaluating one lead versus another, you're evaluating a difference in score, those are actually pretty easy decisions to make because it's easy to compare one play versus another pairwise and dismiss one that's clearly inferior to another. In this case, Adam has a lot of completely different options to investigate. Does he play the Q? If he's going to play the Q, it looks like there's, QAT or dropping the Q here and playing QI are, going to be sort of your main Q plays. There's some Z plays. He could play Zach through the A, and that's going to score really well, but it's also going to keep the Q on his rack and make it unplayable unless he can draw basically the U. And so that's going to, if he plays Zach, that's going to really get him in some Q trouble. There are only 7 tiles in the bag, so it's going to be difficult. He could exchange. He could exchange holding the Z. He could exchange holding, OZ with few vowels in the pool. This is his last chance to exchange the Q. That, however, is going to give Evans some momentum with respect to score. It's going to leave the stuff that's open wide open, and with a blank unseen, that might give back something pretty substantial for Evans, and it gives him the tempo, and Evans might take a tempo lead going into the end game. So there's a big disadvantage to an exchange. The advantage is, of course, that Evans may end up with the Q and some of the same problems. Yeah, there's something like Kaz is, C play up here. It restricts some of the bingo lanes. It leaves the spots open for the Q. That's suggested by Jeremy. It leaves the stuff at the bottom of the board ready for the Q. It's defensive as far as bingo lanes. This D to play through is going to be your main lane. There could be some ridiculous thing ending in H that's also available. Other than that, there's not much space to bingo. On the other hand, if you play Kaz, Evans does hit a bingo through the A, then you're in really bad Q trouble. The bag will be empty, and you'll have no options to play the Q unless you've just drawn the U and can hit, something here, or you've drawn QAT to go here. So it's a lot of options, a lot of ways this could go very wrong for Adam, and a lot of ways that he could end up Q stuck. Things can just go completely off the rails. On the other hand, if he does, say he does play Zach, he takes a 50-point lead. Evans doesn't bingo. He could hit the A for a QAT here. Like, there's a lot of wildly different things that can happen. Adam has played Talk at M6, saving both the Q and the Z, setting up a spot to dump the Z later, saving the QI spot at N11. So that seems to be a pretty good option for Adam that I'll bring you, assuming my Quackle hasn't crashed. All right, there we go. So that saves a spot for the Z that goes here, a spot for the Q that goes here. It looks like there's still just the one Q spot unless Adam draws into something. So there's still a bit of danger for Adam, but Talk also saves the big scoring tiles and comes up with a decent score and moves some of the clunk itself. Adam has drawn the U, but no other vowel to go with his Q, so now he's faced with Q, Z, and a U. And yeah, again, there's still spots to to drop the Q. But what Talk does is it destroys everything on L column here. It destroys here. It destroys here. There are no bingo lanes available aside from this this 1A spot into the H. So Evans is in a score position where it looks like he needs to bingo to win. A Q stick might also win, but it's going to be very dire because Adam will have the Z, and if he can draw, especially if Adam can draw another vowel, there's still some vowels. There's still vowels in the pool. If Adam can draw one, or if he draws an A and hits the QAT, there's a lot of stuff that's possible. Adam has lined up on his rack Burka, which will actually play here for a really nice score. Evans, he needs to open something up. He needs to make a dynamic play that opens up the bingo lane. If that Burka spot stays open, then Adam's Q worries are gone, and he will be whistling. Gray skies are going to clear up, and Adam will certainly put on a happy face.
Does he do either of those things, you think? Whistle, put on happy faces?
He'll be doing bell kicks in the hallway outside the playing room. He'll go
I would like to see that, actually.
In the data lounge.
That might be more fun than watching the game.
He'll be he'll find a light pole or one of the columns inside the hotel and be singing and dancing in the rain. Yes, Evans is on turn. I should update this. Yes, it is Evans' turn. He is considering his options. Adam has Burka at C1 lined up.
He is now just waiting to see.
And Evans doesn't have an opportunity to fit a bingo on the board as it lies. Burka also has the added advantage of blocking this A1 lane. I'm not sure if there's anything out that will go there. Evans has made a play with the blank. He has taken what points he could. Played Soften for 43. And now it's really a close game. That does empty the bag, and he's hoping to pull an outplay, catch Adam with the Q or the Z, and we'll see. We'll see if this gambit actually works. It might be just out of reach if after Adam plays Burka. I can't send this.
Sam, I don't know about the how they've decided about the pairings for the B division. I do know that a lot of them have expressed some preference for round robin, and they'll probably do it next time. As you move your way down the ranks, players care more and more about avoiding repeats. That becomes a big part of it that I know Vince and Kieran have been talking about and discussing. I think that lower players tend to want to play more different people, whereas the higher players are really more about getting their chances in. For their wins, as it were, I would suppose. I have, of course, chosen to switch to Collins, despite not being a top player, so I can't speak to any personal anything.
Adam is just under 6 minutes on his clock, so he has a bunch of time to figure out this end game. The bag is empty, of course, so Adam has perfect knowledge about the contents of Evans' rack.
You can expect him to use it to run a full sim in his mind.
Yep, Evans has just under 7 minutes on his clock. And the game is very, very tight and intense. After Evans' last game, his 5-point win over Brad, having such an intense game, he's gonna feel exhausted. However, this turns out, and hopefully, if he does pull out this win, it will be first of all, a well-deserved victory, and he'll be.
There won't be a guarantee for a win for the tournament either. For him to be Gibsonized, he would both need to win, and he would need Stefan to lose.
Yeah, and if he wins and Stefan wins, then he will be in a situation where he has to not lose by more than a certain amount. It looks like there are.
I have put out an inquiry to find out about the pairings for Division 2 for this round. I'll let you know if I hear anything back.
So I did manage to coax Quackle into simming the end game here, and Adam is in a winning position. Burka does win, although it is not the best win. There were perhaps some other things that Evans could have pulled that would have given him the win after Soften. Not right now, but next. Actually,
who went first?
Adam has played Burka. He's down to just under 3 minutes on his clock. Evans now has 6 minutes to contemplate his response. Evans does have outplays. They do not win the game. The outs are through the R that Adam has just exposed. And
unfortunately, though, they just won't score enough to make up that difference.
Yeah, even with Adam eating the Z, Adam is home. It's been a masterfully played game, a really
for
both players, really tight game. Really, the big break was Adam hitting the natural nitride, which put him in the driver's seat. And then, Adam's decision with his post bingo rack, where he's drawn consonants, K, Z, Q, all of these different things to foresee the sequence of events, keep the scoring pressure on, block bingo lanes, all of that. He played Talk at that juncture, which, as we had said, blocked both the L lane that Evans had set up with his previous play of no and the existing lanes through the D and the A, while keeping this area open for potential Q dump, while keeping open the possibility of Burka if he drew into the play, and keeping QAT open here, setting up a spot to dump the Z if necessary. Talk did a lot of things for Adam all at once and was a pretty masterful play. And Evans is going to be very disappointed by this close loss. And Adam is our winner, 4-4-7 to 4-3-4. Probably the only miss for Evans is the very difficult endoderm when he played no. That would have scored quite a bit more and opened up a threat for a bingo down A column. That's a very difficult extension to see at that point in the game. And besides that, it was a masterfully played game by both players. Certainly no shame for anyone from this game, and the tournament results are now thrown into all kinds of flux. Evans Clinchey drops to 16-5. Stefan Rao still playing Bradley Whitmarsh. He is at 15-5. We're awaiting results of that game. Adam goes up to 15-6. He is one game and several hundred spread points behind Evans. And it looks based on spread. It's likely that Evans will play Stefan for the CSW crown. It will be a heads-up winner-take-all. If Stefan wins, if Stefan loses, Evans will have a game and spread cushion, and will have to not lose the game by more than some number of points. Oh, and that result is now in. Stefan has actually lost that game to Bradley Whitmarsh. He is sitting on 15-6 plus 1308. Evans Clinchey will be 16-5 plus 1475. So with a difference in spread of 177. Mm-hmm. Evans will need to not lose the last game by more than 88 points, I believe. If Stefan can win by 88 points, he will win the tournament. If Evans can lose by fewer than 88, he will be the champion of this weekend's event. Brad Whitmarsh improves to 14-7. He will sit in fourth place at this juncture. And Adam will move up to 15-6. He will sit about 100 and something spread points behind Stefan. If some strange turn of events happens, there is a mathematical possibility that Adam can sneak into first place. If Stefan wins by a small amount and Adam wins in a blowout, he could overtake Stefan on spread and to overtake Evans on spread, but it would require a Herculean 200-plus point victory by Adam in order to make this happen.
So I would say, if anyone there were capable of doing that, it would be him. But still seems like a long shot.
Indeed. And Jason Keller has beaten Richard Buck in round 21. He's currently in fifth place at 13-8. Tim Weiss's game against Jennifer Lee is still underway. They were both at 12-8 entering this round, and so the winner will be in a position to win their final game and finish in the money.
I'm waiting on Evans is going to call the post-game interview once he's finished the paperwork. And, the results of this game have settled in. But he will call from his own device, not from Vince.
The final round pairings in Collins are likely to be just a straight King of the Hill. There's no unusual circumstance that would dictate pairing otherwise. So it looks, like Evans will play Stefan. Adam will likely play Bradley Whitmarsh in a game that could have first place implications, could have second place implications. Lots of action to come. We're awaiting a call from Evans Clinchey to discuss the game that we just finished.
We'll have to see which of the games we see next.
And we'll see what game we see next. If Stefan is insistent on not being broadcast, perhaps we'll see Adam and Brad. But we will let you know as soon as we can what game we will be broadcasting next. This is Chris Leip and Randy Goldberg. We're in St. Louis, Missouri, broadcasting round 21 of the Albany Weekend Scrabble Tournament, New Year's weekend, being held in the Best Western in Albany, New York, across the street from the U-Albany campus. The technical wizardry that's bringing you this broadcast, the IT infrastructure support, is provided by WGVC.com, a division of Informatrix International. If you can't wait for the future to arrive, not Facebook, Skype. WGVC will get you there sooner. Because I have a Facebook call for board camp. So,
waiting for the interview for Evans to download Skype.
So yeah, we'll have Evans momentarily, and in the TWL-A division, we have, let's see, Joey Malik defeated Mac Meller. He goes to 13-8. Joey Krafchick defeated Joe Edley. He also goes to 13-8. So it looks like the two of them will be competing for second place in the TWL-A division. Lloyd Mills is on 12-8. His game against Matt Graham is still outstanding. Mac Miller, with his loss, falls to 11.5. Matt Graham was on 11. He will go into a money position if he wins his final game of the afternoon. Passing, not final game of the afternoon, second to last game of the morning, passing Mac Miller if he defeats Lloyd Mills. So the second through fifth place in the TWA division are still hotly contested.
Your strike name is Frederick?
Yep.
Spell.
So we were waiting on Evan's call after this difficult 13-point loss to Adam. And we'll be getting this momentarily. You see here the final board.
Some interesting chat in the chat room about if he'd played Sifted instead of Fluffed with it in there, whether that might have made the difference for him. He would have been able to score a bit more going out potentially.
Going to pause the stream for just a moment, and then we will come back with our stream for the final round of this event. Bear with us for just one moment, and then we'll have hopefully have Evans Clinchy on the line to do a little post-mortem. We might not get Evans Clinchy on the line to do a post-mortem. Have him try calling right now, and maybe it'll ring. No, it's on my phone. Just okay, it looks like we're not going to be able to get Evans Clinchy to talk about the final game due to Skype being stupid. But we will tell you as soon as we can what the last game is going to be. We're working on pairings right now. So we will pause the stream for a moment and be right back with coverage of the conclusion of this tournament. This is Chris Lipe and Randy Goldberg broadcasting the Scrabble live from Albany, New York. This is the conclusion of round 21, and we will be back for the exciting finish, round 22 of 22, the finale, the grand finale of this New Year's weekend Scrabble tournament from Albany, New York.